this is sort of a joke. What would Georgia do? I think about this with all the artists of the past that I really look up to. What would they do? Would they do the same painting over and over and not push themselves? Would they, how would they approach things? How many followers on Instagram would Georgia have? The correct answer is 0, because she wouldn't be on Instagram because she's too cool. But I want to take a minute to talk about Instagram and social media, actually. A lot of people bring up AI. That's like the conversation with artists these days. And I don't feel threatened by AI. Maybe I'm naive. Instagram, social media feels like a bigger problem to me for the art world than AI. And when I say the art world, like fine art world, when artists making paintings, I took some notes here that I'm going to read a little bit of because I want to get this right. I feel like this is a very important topic. We're living in a time where visibility is mistaken for vision. Speed is mistaken for depth. I've been influenced by many sources, as I've talked about, and shown a few of them here. Historic artists, contemporary artists, painters, weavers, sculptors, writers, musicians. I think of Woody Guthrie or Cisco Houston can set me off and influence me and get me excited about art as much as Maynard Dixon or Georgia O'Keeffe. So I really feel like influence is a good thing. It's inevitable. We're going to be influenced by other artists. Dan McCaw, who is an artist I referred to earlier, had this great analogy. He'd say, when you ski down a slope, it's impossible to not cross other skiers' paths. But it's important to not go down their exact same path. So I'm always thinking of that. We're all skiing down this slope together as artists, but we want to really find our own path. And I think what feels different now, especially in the age of social media, is how quickly ideas and images circulate without context or lineage. An image can be copied and reposted and reinterpreted and monetized very often before the original artist who thought up the idea has even fully completed that thought of the idea and fully explored the idea. It's something I've noticed as my work has become more visible. I've experienced something that many artists can relate to, which is seeing deeply personal ideas, a visual language, and hard-won solutions echoed back, often without acknowledgement, sometimes without even realizing where the ideas originally came from. And what concerns me about this is it's not about my work. I'll continue to evolve, and I'm already 10 steps ahead of the paintings that are hanging here in this show, so it's not about that. Really what concerns me is what gets lost when artists skip this uncomfortable work, the awkward phase of being an artist, and not finding their own voice. When you borrow someone else's language too early, what you're doing as an artist is you're robbing yourself of the chance to discover what you can only say. And this is super important. It's as I've been mentioning, I've always been wanting to find myself as an artist, so I'm always thinking about that. I really feel like it's our responsibility as artists, as collectors, as curators and galleries, to treat originality not as a style, but as a practice. Originality is not about being loud, it's not about being new, it's about being honest, patient, and willing to sit in the uncertainty long enough for something authentic to emerge. So my hope is that newer artists that might be hearing this are emerging, who are emerging, would take my advice, which is to slow down, fail privately. I'm so lucky to have come up in a time when everything that I painted was not expected to be posted on Instagram. I did so many bad paintings, many of which were sold that'll probably recirculate at some time, but I was able to grow kind of without anybody watching me. I was being ignored. I wasn't a super successful artist. For a good 10 years, I was just struggling, check to check, barely making a living, but I was okay with it. I was still making a living, and it was never about money for me. So I was able to have that time to develop. Nobody was watching me, and I love that. So I feel for artists these days that feel like they need to be famous and maybe come on the scene 5 years ago and already feel like they need to sell 1,000 prints of their image, because that's what is happening these days. And it's just not, it's not about that. Like, to slow down, slow down. Another thing is to just let your influences digest fully. My influences were being shown in galleries. I wish they hadn't been, but when I say influences, I'm still influenced by artists, but very strongly influenced. Images were being shown. And I don't think that we need more images. We need more authentic voices. And to make this happen, it takes time. So that's my bit on social media. Another artist that has 0 followers on Instagram is George Carlson, because he's too cool to be on Instagram.